Name is Greg Kimberlin. I'm with Big O Tires in LaGrange, Kentucky. I bought this shop in 2001, so we're 25 years in. I've been with the company 36. Big O is a franchise. So I started on the, as they will say, I started on the dark side, on the corporate side, and then moved into the franchise side. I've had as many as 4 stores at one time. I am now down to 1, um, and moving on. My job is you can work, and if you're an owner, you can have 2 choices. You can work on your business or you can work in your business. I've been at it long enough and produced a great staff that allows me to work on it, which is where Autoflow comes in. Everybody tries to hit home runs, and the big thing is not hitting home runs. It's the number of at-bats is what we look for. Everybody tries to get the huge sale. I'd rather have $20 more per car or $10 more per car than an extra $1,000 ticket.
Well, that's great. I love what you said there. You're absolutely right. You got to work on the business, not in the business. That's something a lot of business owners just fail to realize. And so glad you got that. What were you doing to manage your customer communication and inspections prior to Autoflow?
We were doing pen and paper, and when I say pen and paper, I mean we were probably 10 to 15% proper inspections on the vehicles, and then even a worse job explaining it to the customer. And this is going to sound crazy, but our business is not to sell the customers. Our business is to let them know the health of their car, and it's their job to decide if they want somebody like us to fix it. But our job's to tell them what's going on, and that's really where Autoflow comes in.
What made you start looking for a different solution beyond the pen and paper for customer information?
What made me start looking for a different solution other than pen and paper, because we were doing a poor job and the customers deserve better than that. So I went on the hunt, and I've actually looked for probably 2 years, multiple DVIs, multiple projects, and Autoflow just came right to the top of the heap for me over everything else. I'm not going to mention anybody else that I checked, but I looked a lot of different directions before I honed in on one. And then in the business, you bring it on, I didn't throw everybody to the wolves. We brought it on one section of our business at a time. So we're currently 3 of our 4 processes in to get this and get it right.
Which 4 tools or 3 or 4 tools are you using right now?
Well, we're using, of course, the DVI. We just turned on recently the service intervals. So we have a lot of money walk out the door because we do a poor job of that. So we are using the service intervals. Also, we have different sections. Like I said, 4 sections to our business. We're a tire and service center. We do 500 to 700 oil changes a month. We now have a separate building for that. So I look at completely different because each section has a DVI, which was really easy to program. Our tire lane is the last one that I'm getting on board with it. There is nothing where you pop the hood on our tire service lane because that's not something that they normally do. So the DVI, thanks to Autoflow, the DVI was really, really easy to modify multiple DVIs to allow for different things. We have a DVI for our tire lane, which shake down the front end, look at the tires, the wheels, and the brakes, and then basically the vehicle's gone. Oil change, they pop the hood, belts, hoses. I have one for my alignment tech. Again, he doesn't pop the hood, he doesn't take the tires off, but it's got to be front end. So he has a separate DVI, and Autoflow was just so easy to manipulate those.
Awesome. Can you walk me through how the onboarding and training process went once you decided to start using Autoflow?
The onboarding was to at the start with the onboarding, it was easy because I had people that got on with me, walked me through how it works. Then the help desk has been the help desk is one of the best that I've ever dealt with in the automotive industry. They're on it. They're on it quick. When I have questions, they don't answer the question outright. They say, here's where you can find this documentation that will explain it a lot better than a quick one sentence, go here, here, and here. And that was all part of the onboarding, to know that they were going to be there for me. And I was really proud of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, our support team is the best. Was there any pushback from your team? And if there was pushback from moving from paper to digital, how did you manage that?
Was there pushback from my team? Yes, a tremendous amount of pushback. Big O is a process-oriented company. They give us the wheel with all the spokes, and our job is to use all the spokes in that wheel. Now, because I added some spokes to their wheel, I had a lot of pushback from my salespeople, my oil change lane. So what we did was, okay, I'm going to deal with one set of the pushback first. I'm going to get my salespeople and problem solvers. They are going to get the process. So we have a particular process, and I wrote it out for them. And I started with my top guy, most motivated, and really worked with him to get it started. And then from there, it became a collaboration of mistakes that I made during this process. I bought Motorola track phones for the guys to use. I bought Amazon Fire tablets to use. A check-in that should take 2 minutes went to 10 because I handcuffed them with inferior for this particular thing. I handcuffed them. So we worked through that. We got, believe it or not, iPad mini series 5 used. It cut 10 minutes back down to 2 minutes. My guys walk out in the parking lot. They snap a picture of the front of the vehicle. That tells the customer when we send it, yes, this is your vehicle, and this is no smoke and mirrors. They snap pictures of all 4 sides, the license plate. We get in the car, turn the key on. They snap a picture of the dash, start the car to make sure we don't have any other dash lights on. If we do, they snap a second picture of it, turn the steering wheel to the right or left, get out and take a picture of that tire. At that point, they go inside, they finish the write-up, and then it is passed off from there. They stage the vehicle where it needs to be staged, and it's passed off on the second. Um, that got my salespeople using it. Then my oil change lane took over next. We have a system, oil changes. To do that many, we've got to be fast and efficient. So I have one person that's responsible for that lane, and he is responsible to see the DVI is complete and get it onto the customer, text it onto the customer. So there was a little bit of pushback there, but not nearly what I thought it was going to be. Those guys just grabbed it and go, okay, we're writing this stuff down anyway. Now we don't have to write it down anymore. We just click some buttons and move. And that's what they do. So my technicians, I thought was going to be a lot of pushback. You pick the most vocal guy, explain to him potentially how much more money he's going to make by doing this simple DVI. And so he takes off, he's doing more service, he's doing more work, and the other guys just shut up and follow suit because they know it's going to help them. And then my tire lane is my next lane that we're working on with the brakes and everything. That's been a little bit more of a challenge because we're the type of business, we pull it in the shop. My expectations is you're getting 4 tires, you ought to be out of there in 10 minutes. So we have our tire lane and everything set up for 10 to 15 minutes per vehicle. So it's the salespeople, problem solvers' job to go out and try to help with the DVI. So we're still working through that process.
That's great. We just did I believe in one of our webinars about finding the shop champion, finding the person who is like, yes, I love it. And then get that person on board, and then the rest will follow if they see that person doing great with it. So that's awesome. On the customer side, now that you started sending digital vehicle inspections, the photos and that, how did the customers respond? Like, did they like it? And did you see like a different increase in approvals?
We seen an increase at what we send to the customers. And did we see an increase in approvals and interactions? We really did see a difference in interactions on it because they see pictures. If there's a problem, we take a picture of it, we send it, we text it to them. They have a history, we have a history on what was given to them over the time. So that is customers, you're going to have the 1 or 2 that are going to push back. And, we have some that say, I don't want an inspection. All I want you to do is an oil change. Don't tell me if there's anything wrong with my car. Okay. Well, if we find a safety issue, normally one of management calls them and says, you said you didn't want to know anything. We're telling you this piece is about to fall off. You're about to lose a front hub bearing. And when it does, the tire's going to come off. You didn't want us to. We just tell you, you need to get it fixed somewhere. But, 99% of the customers they really love it just because they know the health of their vehicle. They know that if there's anything there, we try to tell them, look, plan this for the next oil change, plan this for 2 oil changes out. So that's basically 5 to 10,000 miles. They can budget for it. And you get half of them budget, 25% tell you, I don't touch it. And 25% want to know, can you get it today?
That's awesome. Yeah, I think just a year ago this week, I got new tires. I had to, one of mine had a screw in it. I had to replace all of them. They just brought out a paper sheet and they're like, hey, here's some other things that are wrong with your vehicle. And I'm like, well, can't you show me? I'm here talking to you. I want to see what's wrong. So I'm like, I'm not making any decision And so I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. I can't see it, so I can't make that decision. I got the tires. Yeah, I can see the tires. That's easy. But on the other suggestions they had, I'm like, hey, if it's not an immediate safety issue, I'm going to go find a shop that takes photos.
Yeah, and you have to have photos. You really do. Um, people don't trust the tire. People don't trust the automotive service industry to begin with. I think we're right there with some personal injury attorneys in the vision of the customers. So, but we look. I'm looking for generations. So we need to do what we need to make sure that we're communicating the way it should be. Um, batteries, belts, hoses, all of that stuff, we just kind of glanced over. Batteries are good 3 years, and then you're going to have to replace it with all the electronics. Well, if nobody's checking it, you shut it off in Kroger parking lot. When you turn it back on, it doesn't start. And look, I just had it in for an oil change 2 days ago. You guys didn't check that? I got tired of hearing those words.
That's great. Did you see an increase in your average repair order value once you started sending the photos and videos and the proof of what you're suggesting?
Did I see an increase in the ARO orders? Yes. It's between $10 and $20 per ticket on average. In our case, we are anywhere from 40 to 60 tickets a day. So it doesn't take long to figure out, for the price we pay for the DVI, we normally will pay for that in the first 3 to 4 days of the month. I knew we were going to get an increase in the RO. I just didn't realize how much.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love the thinking you have of it pays for itself within the first couple days, and then the rest is just pure profit. That's something that I find shops sometimes like, well, that's the $400 a month, and it's like, well, you can make so much more. That's your return on investment is going to be huge. Don't worry about that few bucks. You'll make a lot more with it. With customer reviews after the visit, are you seeing the follow-up? Are you seeing more positive reviews come in?
Yes, we see a lot. Do we see customer reviews come in? Yes, we see a lot more of them. Again, thanks to Chan and the crew. I started this with, I'm going to call it baby steps. I have to get the DVI set up first. I have to get it in the store and our processes changed. Then we turned on appointment reminders, which has been a huge help for us to keep the appointments and everything going. Chan and the group I met with last week, they just turned on the reviews, and I'm seeing a lot of reviews come back. If it's not a 4 or 5 star, we are on the phone within minutes of receiving that to find out what we did and how we can improve. How did we disappoint you on your visit? A couple of them, I've had a couple 3-star reviews, and so it bothered me. My guys called, then I called the customer back again just to say, tell me what we can do. And I had both of them go, I give nobody a 5-star review. Nobody. And I go, okay. Said, you got a 3, which is the highest that I normally give anybody. You met my expectations. You didn't surprise me. You went over and beyond. And I go, okay, that's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure if we dropped the ball, where did we drop it? And how do I need to change my processes to make sure that that ball's not dropped for any other customers?
That's great. Yeah, our founder, Chris Cloutier, in addition to running Autoflow, he owns 3 repair shops And one of our company values here is feedback is a gift. And so when he gets a bad review, whether it's to Autoflow or to one of his locations, he's like, great. If we failed the customer somehow and they didn't let us know, we have no way to know how to improve and make it right and make the next time better. So that's great. I'm glad that you guys are jumping right on the less than 5 stars. That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, you only have one chance to be perfect.
That's exactly it. And where do you feel like Autoflow had the biggest impact on how your shop runs?
How Autoflow had the biggest impact on how my shop runs is consistency. We consistently do the same every single time when the vehicles come in. The DVIs, guys don't make up the DVI. You pick which one it is. My service advisors, I like to call them problem solvers, because customers don't call us to go, how are you doing today? Can I stop in and get a cup of coffee? They call us when they have a problem, and my guys up front are required to solve that problem or help them get it solved someplace else if it's beyond our capabilities. And it just helps us out to be so much more consistent than we have in the past. And that's really what Autoflow and the DVI has done, is we're consistent. The guys look at the same things. One of the pieces of the DVI that helps me and helps my crew is the AI that we use in the notes section. Technicians are technicians. Bad tie rod. Okay, well, they write bad tie rod, and I'll give you a 50-50 chance if they spelled it right. The AI gives the customer a professional explanation and makes us look far better professionally than we really are. We're just a bunch of guys that like cars. But the AI really did a tremendous job for us to get the right thing to the customer. Paper and pen, nobody truly writes down the explanation on what they find, whether it's a wheel bearing, an idler for a serpentine belt. Nobody spends the time to explain to the customer how that works. The AI does in as few words as possible, because they know it's going to be a text link.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, the consumer who is not familiar with a vehicle, if they just get tie rod bad, what does that mean? Is that imminent safety damage? Is that something I can push off a little bit? And helping to educate the customer, that's something we love. What would you tell another tire shop owner who's on the fence about making the switch from paper to digital vehicle inspections?
What I would tell other shop owners about making the switch from paper to DVI and to Autoflow, which, just for your information, currently that's a big push inside of the 470 Big O stores right now, is to get digital vehicle inspections implemented. It's something that, if you're going to be in business tomorrow and you expect to sell your business to somebody else, the larger your customer base is, the more your business is going to be worth in the end when you get ready to sell it, whether you sell it internally to a current employee or you sell it externally to somebody else. And the DVI just really, really puts the professional edge on your business over 90% of everybody else out there. All the small single shops, mom and pops, they're doing pen and paper because they don't see the value in consistency and DVI. And let's face it, industry standards, industry numbers will tell you, if you're not consistent, then you're probably not going to be around very long.
Awesome. Love it. Any other thoughts or comments you have?
Any other thoughts or comments? I want to thank Autoflow for bringing a great program to allow us, those of us in the automotive aftermarket and the service industry, something easy to use, easy to keep track of, great reporting. It's overall, it's a great base to build a tremendous business on top of.